Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben's award-winning podcast, as voted by Grow Your Own magazine and by my followers and listeners. So if you're new to the podcast, make sure you click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts, listen back to all our previous episodes, sit back, grab a brew and let's enjoy today's episode. Hey everyone and welcome back to Gardening with Ben. Well, it's Monday and we've got another podcast out and I've managed to keep them going while I'm being at work. I've pre-recorded them all so that you do get your daily episodes of Gardening with Ben, because they are doing so well at the moment. I can't believe how many people are listening to them on a daily basis. It goes through me, it really does. It makes my day seeing how many people are listening and how many people subscribe to them. So if you've not clicked that subscribe button, do click that subscribe button, as I'm hoping to get them out on a daily basis, because there's so much to talk about. And as the summer months come on, the spring and the summer, there'll be even more to talk about, and you never know, hopefully they'll get a bit longer sometimes. But I think people do enjoy the shorter episodes and the quick and easy listen tos. You can listen to them while you're washing the pots, as somebody said to me on one of my Instagram posts. And also somebody says that they listen to them before they go to bed because they find my voice relaxing. Hopefully it sends them off to sleep. But yeah, it's good when I get good feedback from people that do listen to these podcasts. Even the reviews, people leave fantastic reviews, which is amazing, and it all helps. The more reviews that people leave, the more people will listen to them, and it all helps, obviously, the algorithms of how things are published. So thank you for those that do leave reviews and help me out with my podcast. Right, so today's episode is going to be talking about our January review of the month, because we are at the end of January. We're at one step closer to getting to spring. Just think that come March time, we'll be looking forward to springtime and we will be full steam ahead with sowing those seeds and getting them all growing, because that is a busy time, it certainly is. And with the amount of seeds that I've got this year, I don't know how I'm going to do it all. I'm going to have to look at ways and means of starting all my seeds off in my shed this year. I may have to extend it even more. I keep extending it every single year and making it that bit bigger, just because I keep trying to sow more and more seeds every year. But I do share all my plants, don't get me wrong. I grow plants from my neighbours' plots, and any spares I give away to people on the allotment site, which I think helps. It helps people. It's good to give stuff away to other plot holders so that they can grow it, and everyone always finds room to stick something in, so it's good to share stuff with one another. So if you do have any spare plants and stuff like that, give them away, share them with one another, introduce yourself to another plot holder and just say, would you like these plants, what I've got spare? And sure enough, they'll take them off you and they'll try growing them, and then you can compete against them and see if you can get better produce than them. But yeah, definitely be there to help neighbours out. So what have we got up to in January? Well, January has been extremely busy on my allotment. I could have been a bit busier if I tried. I've had a few days off from the plot when I have been off work, just to rest really. But there is so much that I have done. I've planted absolutely loads of daffodil bulbs. They were late going in, but they were all on offer in the garden centres, so why not buy them when they're cheap, and hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll grow. Half of the time they are alright. The only reason why they sell them off is because they haven't got the room for them anymore, and obviously they should be in the ground, but they'll still grow if they're decent enough. It's only when they go soft and squidgy that they're no good to plant in the garden. So I've got all that done. I've also managed to get all my strawberry plants moved to a new area. They've been in the same spot for about 6-7 years now, I do dig them up every year and I add some nutrient to the ground, but I thought I'm going to move them to a new area of my allotment this year and put them somewhere different to see if they grow any better. But I wanted all my fruit together at the sides of my polytunnel, and that's what I plan on doing. The only issue is that it's not under my main netting structure, so I'm going to have to look at ways of netting them, because I don't want the birds eating them. Obviously the birds can stay away from my strawberries. My strawberries are my prime possession, and I certainly do want a good crop this year. I'm going to be putting a lot of effort into them this year, so stay tuned and keep up to date with my Facebook and my YouTube and my Instagram posts, and I'll be sharing how they're getting along. I've also obviously bought a couple of Leyland eyes which are in the ground. Quite a few of my followers said be very careful because they'll grow big, but I'm quite good at keeping stuff under control and keeping it small. It's just to fill some gaps in front of my shed, to give it that bit of protection. So I planted them. I planted some roses. I've planted some climbing roses, 3 altogether I think it were, 3, yeah. So we've got those, which are in the entrance of my plot, so I'm looking forward to some extra colour at the front of my plot this year. That's going to look really good, and I just need to build a frame for them to climb up next. That's my next job for hopefully February. I've also planted a couple more climbers. I can't remember the names of them, but they're in the ground at the front of my allotment, so I can't wait for them to grow as well, because I've never grown any climbers on my allotment, and I want to see how they grow and try and grow them in front of my shed to cover it really, so that it like protects it a bit more and obscures it so that it's not as prominent as it is. Obviously it'll block a bit of the light out, but the light still comes in from the top of the shed because it's got perspex roof as well, so hopefully it will look pretty good. I'm looking forward to them growing. I know they'll take a few years to get going, but hopefully they will. And obviously I've been sorting out all my rhubarb. All my rhubarb's ready now for starting to grow. It keeps trying to get going, but the frost keeps killing it off as it grows at the moment, because obviously it's tender. You won't get no rhubarb at this time of year, but hopefully as the warmer weather and the less frost comes, hopefully it will get growing and get going. And I've sprinkled some chicken pellets around them to give them the food that they need for this year. I've given my Bramley apple tree a bit of a pruning back and a bit of a tidy up. I've left my plum tree, because you don't prune that until summertime, and that does need a good prune because it is getting tall now, so we do need to get that sorted. I've sorted out all my autumn raspberries. They're all ready for growing this year. I've put some fresh compost around them, what I had from last year, to just give them a bit more moisture and hopefully protection, and just bulbs everywhere. I've planted so many bulbs. I've also planted some heather, I've planted some campanula, I've planted some, yeah, that's it really for planting. I've also sown all my onion seeds. They've all been sown. I've sown my aubergines. My aubergines have been sown, but if you listen to the other day's episode, I've got some more aubergine seeds in the Grow Your Own magazine, so I might plant some of them. I've sown a load of herb seeds in little tin pots, which I'm hoping to hang up on my shed to make it a bit more quirky. So I'm looking forward to growing herbs, because I've never grown herbs from seed before, so that is something new. And I've obviously been out and bought all my flower seeds for this year, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they progress. I need to go through them all and see which ones I need to sow for which month, and quite a lot of them are actually perennials as well, hardy perennials, so that means they will grow back year on year and will not have no issues with having to replace them. That's if I do manage to get them to grow, and we'll have to see how well they actually grow and see if we can get some growing. But yeah, I'll definitely have to open up my little own garden centre soon with how many flower seeds I've got to grow. and I'm definitely looking forward to growing my sweet peas. I've got my gladioli bulbs. We've got 5 packs of 8 of those. They're going to go round my entrance as you walk onto the plot, so that they're prominent as down the sides of the path as you walk on, and hopefully they will add a lot of colour to that as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they all turn out, but we might have to go and get some more of those, because I really do want a good display of gladiolis. They really are beautiful flowers, and they last for quite a few weeks as well once they're in flower. So I'm going to try and get some more. I think I'll have to put them on my list. So if people keep listening to these episodes, I'll be able to buy some more gladioli bulbs. So keep listening to them all. Make sure you click that subscribe button. But yeah, I've got them gladioli bulbs to sort out. And yeah, February is going to be a busy month, because I have got all my seeds to sort out. I have got all my vegetable seeds to look to see which ones I need to get, because I don't get them all in my magazines, because you don't get all like the runner beans or the peas or the sweet corn in the magazines. So I need to look at getting some of those, and you don't get like your squashes as well. You don't tend to get them seeds in the magazines, which is a shame, but they're obviously more expensive, so they can't give them away for free in the magazines. So I need to start looking at all my seeds now, because I won't be starting them till end of March, beginning of April. So if I look through them all now in February, then I can look at what I can purchase and make sure that I've got them all ready. And yeah, I'm going to have to get a load of seed trays as well. I'll probably try recycling using milk cartons. I've done that in the past by just cutting the top off the milk carton and putting some holes in them and sprinkling a few seeds in each one, rather than using a seed tray, because they're expensive to purchase. I've got a load, but obviously I don't want to have to get any more, because I use gravel trays and I put holes in them rather than the plastic flimsy ones, so they're like £2 each, £1, £2 each. So I don't really want to be purchasing any more of those if possible. So I've got all them to do, and in February I need to start moving on to my main plot, getting that all tidied and getting it all cleared, because I've done my fruit area, I've done my entrance area, I've moved all my strawberries to one area, so now I need to be moving on to my main plot and getting that all tidied, and then hopefully in March we can make sure that all the repairs that need doing are done in March, and then possibly in April will be when I paint all my beds and get them all looking spotless and clean and tidy, ready for the year ahead. But March will be more about maintenance, and February I need to get all my plot cleared, so I've got 1 month to do it in. I think I've got 20 beds on my allotment. It's split up into 20 beds, so it's very easy to do. It's very manageable, because I'll do about 4 beds a day when I'm down there, and I'll have about 12 days off. So hopefully I'll get them all done in time and get it all sorted and ready, and we'll be on track to get things done. And I need to get in my shed as well, but I put off the jobs in my shed until it actually rains, because I don't want to be in the shed on a decent day when I could be outside, if you get me. So we've got all that to do. So plenty ahead to do. So it's been a busy old January, and I've enjoyed it, yeah. Like I said, it's not been a bad winter at all this year. We can't really complain so far about how good the weather's been and how much time we've managed to get in the garden. So thanks for listening to today's episode. We look forward to speaking to you in February. If you've not clicked that subscribe button, do it now. And until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep gardening, and keep listening to Gardening with Ben's podcasts. So thank you for listening to today's episode of Gardening with Ben. We hope that you've enjoyed this episode. Remember to do click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts. feel free to share them on your Instagram stories so that it spreads the word about my podcast and we get lots more listeners. Feel free to check out my social media sites, Facebook and Instagram as well, Gardening with Ben, and also my YouTube channel, to stay up to date with all my handy videos, how-to videos, and sharing my tips and advice. And feel free to check the link as well in the description for my Gardening with Ben t-shirts. Lots of funny gardening design t-shirts in there for you to purchase at great prices too. So thanks again, and as always, remember, keep smiling and keep gardening.